Hi guys, this is Linda Gale. I'm coming to you to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. On yesterday, March the 4th, 2024, Morgan Boyne Hill was sentenced to life in prison. He has the possibility of parole, but after 15 years. I'm coming to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because without you guys sending the emails, without all of you guys' prayers, thoughts, wishes, without you guys' presence, I don't think it would have went the way it did. Because I appreciate what you guys did, because it shed light on what she was doing. It showed her that people are watching her, and she had to bend to the will of the people.
I've always heard something happens for every generation that they always remember. For my grandparents' generation, it was the death of Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. For my parents' generation, it was the death of Tupac Shakur in 9/11. And for my generation, it was the death of Kobe Bryant. But digging a little deeper, I think that also applies to this situation. For my grandparents' generation, it was Booker Wright. My parents' generation, it was James Byrd Jr. I always hear the majority of the black community say almost everything involved with them that they don't agree with is racism. But this, in my opinion, is the definition of true racism. Now, according to reports at first, Morgan Barnhill stated that he believed that Etienne was an intruder and reacted accordingly. But according to Etienne's mother, Etienne and Morgan were actually great friends. And he was invited to a barbecue by Morgan, and Morgan accused Etienne of stealing and beating him with a shovel. And the things that wooed me the most was the fact that this man waited a couple hours before even trying to call the police. Just evil. I don't want to get into the usual storytelling about this young man's life and his killer's life. I just want to take out the time to talk history for a minute. This is what I mean, and this is what I refer to when I mention real racism. I'm not a naive person, and it's not like that I don't believe that racism exists, because as we've seen recently throughout the years, racism is on full display in every state across America. But what I mean is that the majority of racism isn't as blunt and in your face as it was then. To be as heartless as Morgan was is unexplainable, and that takes another level of evil from a person. Similar to Carolyn Bryant, this woman waited 68 years after the fact to tell that she lied about Emmett Till whistling at her, which in turn was the reason that this young man was killed. And before her death, when she came out about it, she came out so nonchalantly, like it was no big deal at all, and hardly no one from the black community who had smoked for complete nonsense had any for her at all. Now, in my opinion, this killing was 1,000% racially motivated. And I believe because his killer was a white male, it was swept under the rug as much as it could be. Thankfully, this young man's killer was sentenced to life in prison. And the reason I hate the entire situation, because I feel as a society, even though racism exists beyond comprehension, we've come such a long way as a society when it comes to us being one human race. And I don't like the racial divide. But when stuff like this happens, and stuff like what happened with Dylan Roof happens, it kind of sets your mind frame backwards. Trust me when I say, I did my research, and this was 1,000% racially motivated. And that's the part that I absolutely hate. It was fueled by jealousy. This event has left many people broken and their lives changed forever. Even though this was a tragedy, at least it was one positive thing that came from it.